Hi, Nick.
Hello, Michael. Look at you.
How are you? Oh, I better record this so that,
Okay, well,
it doesn't go wasted.
I'll save my energy. Oh, you mean the video? Okay.
I'm in the video, yeah.
Okay,
'Cause
I'll give you a
went
I'll
up
give
to
you
a
a fresh
lot of.
I'll give you a fresh reaction for the video, like you've just appeared. Okay.
Okay.
Whoa! Oh, Mike!
Hey,
Oh,
buddy.
you dressed up.
Yeah,
You're Father
it's just me.
Christmas.
It's just me.
It's just you.
I'm just dressed as Father
Sorry.
Christmas.
The mask needs to go over the nose, so if you could just up a little bit.
It's a mouth hole.
Yeah.
Mouth hole. Do I look good?
You do. It's impressive. That it's a lot of effort that you've put into that. I don't get why the moustache is lumpy on one side.
Yeah. Well, that could be because. Oh, here we go. Look at that.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. See, this makes more sense.
No, this is one of the best purchases I've ever made.
I can believe
From
that.
one of those like Asian $2 shops.
Uh-huh.
You know those ones?
Yep.
Bought it like 5 years ago, and I've worn it every year. And
You get
every
a
year
lot of
get
mileage
the same
on it.
reaction, which is laughter and joy. So for $8.99,
Uh-huh.
I have spread about $32 worth of joy. I think
That's a 4x return. That's really good.
that's a profit.
That's a joy profit. Yeah. I'm wearing a sort of slate colored t-shirt. But I do have red headphones, so
Yeah, you never dress up. You used to dress up all the time, and you
Well,
never dress up anymore.
I don't
Make me
have-
look like a fool.
I did genuinely look. I was like, do I have a
Just a hat,
Santa hat or
Just
anything? But
the
no,
reindeer ears.
no, I don't. I don't have any props.
Well, you go buy one, I guess. It's always an option.
It's just
cheap,
so
cheap man.
expensive. Yeah. Anyway, I like to give you a time to shine on this podcast, and I think sartorial shining is still success, even if it's an audio medium.
Doesn't feel like shining though when I just I go to the effort of putting on my $8.99 costume and expecting you to at least put in some effort, and there's nothing returned, and just kind of makes me look like an idiot.
It doesn't make you look like an idiot.
Adorable Christmas idiot.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I think people look at you with affection, but
I
sort
think
of
it's pity. I think it's pity. I think that's what you're
possible.
picking up on.
Well, what's
A
wrong with a
fine
bit of a
line
pity
between affection and pity.
Yeah.
Yeah, a pity infection. That's something. Had a few of those.
Yeah, I bet you have. How you doing?
Would you
It's
say
been
that?
a little while.
All right, I'll just not. I can't sustain this.
Okay, well, I thought you cared about Christmas. It did look itchy, to be honest. For $8.99, it doesn't give you like a scratch-free experience.
No, it says on the box only wear for 2 minutes at any one time in a 24-hour period.
Hold your breath while on your face. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm good, man. I'm not in the festive spirit, I gotta say. Like I'm a very festive guy. I love Christmas and I love this time of year, but I just haven't gotten into it this year. I don't know. What about you?
It's weird because we don't have any decorations up, and normally I like a tree. I like a little bit of the vibes. But this week we're going back to Australia, so it felt like going to the hassle of doing it for what was going to be basically 2 weeks, but not be there for Christmas. Like not enjoy it on the actual day. It just seemed a little bit pointless. So we do have like a little gathering of presents around a sort of nice pot plant, but it would be a stretch to call it a Christmas tree.
I mean, people usually have their Christmas tree up for what, a month? So you're really
Yeah.
just saving 2 weeks.
Yeah, but that's 50%. Like if you're under 50%, I don't know if it's worth it. I don't know. I've seen some pushback from this. Like my gym put up a Christmas tree in mid-November, and my gut reaction, I think we talked about it, was just like, what the fuck are you doing? What, mid-November? But the number of people who are like, yeah, I'm ready. Like mid-November, I want my Christmas shit up, has shocked me. It seems like there's enthusiasm for this now.
Yeah, people love it, and I'm usually one of those guys. I've always loved Christmas, but I think it's a couple of things. I think it might be a bit of post-COVID-y thing. Like when last year, I was dying to go back for Christmas, and it was all I was thinking
the theme
about.
of your song.
Yeah. And now I can go back. I don't even know if I want to go back. I am going back, by the way. I don't know if we've talked about that, but I am going back.
Okay. You're in Adelaide.
I'll see you there. Yeah, I'll see you.
Probably not.
No, you're not staying for Christmas.
No, we're in Melbourne in Christmas.
Well, look at that.
So maybe is what you're saying, that it doesn't feel like Christmas because I'm not going to be there?
I think that's a little bit of part of it. I think it's more that like Casey, because I really miss Casey. I know I've only met him twice.
Once.
Really. Yeah. Well, once in a weekend, but twice on that weekend.
Sure. Yeah.
And
does that count?
I just kind of thought I don't know. I know this is kind of stupid, but I just had it in my head that he and I would spend Christmas together in some way.
Yeah. It's funny because sincerely, he did say Happy Christmas to Michael for me today. That's not a joke. He did say that. So and that surprised me a little bit, because I wasn't sure whether this was a two-way, burgeoning friendship or not. But he sent a genuine sentiment to you, so maybe there's hope.
Well, he got it wrong, because it's Merry Christmas. It's not Happy Christmas.
Okay,
it's Happy Holidays.
Okay, that was a mistranslation by me.
This is why no one wants to be my friend,
He said it in Mandarin, so that's on me.
You say it in Mandarin.
I'm not going to. I could.
Or just do the accent.
This is a genuine fact. I genuinely believe I've never correctly said his name, because just some of the tonal vowel sounds I just can't get.
It's just 2 letters.
Yeah, but he wasn't born with the letters KC. It's
You just convert it to Mandarin. Easy. I could have done that.
It's an abbreviation for Guangxi, but I can't get the chi. That's the wrong sound.
I believe it's she. It's pronounced like a she.
It's the I noise. Anyway.
Anyway.
So yeah, he sends his best. So maybe there's hope. Maybe there's a Christmas miracle on the cards.
All right. Well, maybe you can sit on Santa's lap later.
Okay. Why would you bring it there?
Don't know.
Welcome to Deep Fort 2022 Christmas. Yay! Woo!
Yay.
This is a special podcast. This is the one I think everyone gets excited for, and we're excited to be here today, seen through the internet, with me, my friend MZ. Hey.
Ho 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 hey! I didn't really think that through. I thought that was going to be more like a hey 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 thing.
Okay. And I'm Nick. Thank you for being here. And Happy Christmas. British people do say
Merry
Happy
Christmas. No, they say Happy Christmas, Daddy.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a
Technically.
British person. Yeah.
They all say Daddy.
Okay, Daddy Christmas.
Daddy Christmas. Hey, when you do the just a thought that I had in the shower.
Okay.
That
pause for
when
reflection.
you do the I can do this. If you flick me, I'm just saying I can do this, but like hopefully that you'll just do it. But in the intro thing, in the intro song, we should add some sleigh bells just on the beat.
Okay.
To make it a Christmas theme song.
Okay.
If you want me to do it, I can do it. Just save you some trouble. But I think it would just be a nice touch.
Yeah, I'll have a fiddle. I'll see. I'll dig out that old file. So you've stripped off the top now. You're just a Santa hat.
Just by the end of it, Nick.
Yep, shirtless. It's strip poker. Every time you lose an argument, you have to take off a piece of clothing.
I'll be naked in no time.
Yeah. What's new? How you been?
Don't know. Haven't been sleeping great.
What's going on? Where's this ennui come from?
I don't know. I think it's. I think it might be a bit of like stress.
Oh.
But you know what? Do you know if you can just go to the doctor and say, "Hey, doc, can't sleep. Can you give me some sleeping tablets?"
Yeah. I mean, they'll ask you some more questions like, "Oh, what's going on? Have you been shitting regularly? You know, how much water are you drinking? What's your drug intake?" All those kind of things. Like they'll ask you questions.
Yeah.
But yeah, they'll give you sleeping pills if you want sleeping pills.
Yeah. I always just feel like when I don't like asking doctors for like drugs, or I always want to seem like I don't want them, but I really do. Do you know what I mean? Like I'll go in there and I'll be like, say all the things that I need to say in order to get them. But then they'll be like, okay, well, do you want to try some medication? And then I'll be like, if you think I should. Yeah. So I want to kind of like do that, but I don't want to go in there and just ask for I don't even know what an Ambien or something.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't think
I want whatever Roseanne had.
I don't think you should go in and say, give me this drug in particular, because that's probably one of those red flags where that you'll end up with more questions than you want. But you should go in and say, I'm not sleeping, and then they'll end up there.
Yeah, I guess so. Anyway, I keep talking about my sleeping because I've got nothing really else to talk about.
Well, why are you stressed? What's stressing you? Is it work?
No, work's good. I don't know. I just feel like a little bit. There's just a whole bunch of things. There's a whole bunch of things, Nicholas. Like they're not huge things, but they're kind of niggling.
Okay, like health things, or just like life things.
Yeah, a bit more life things. I mean, I wish I had health things. You know what? I had this thought. No, this is what I mean. I had this thought the other day. I'm like stressed about like X, Y, and Z. And then I banged my foot really hard on one of my dumbbells because I work out, as you know.
Oh, yeah, at the gym.
And it just really hurt my foot, like for days.
How did
to the
you
point where
bang
it
your
was
foot
bleeding.
Bleeding?
It was in the middle of the night. Yeah, it was bleeding. It's still scabbed.
Oh.
I cut it open. It was one of those metallic dumbbells. And then for like 2 days...
You mean most dumbbells?
Well, some of them were plastic.
Okay.
And then for 2 days, that's all I was thinking about because it was just constant pain. And then
you might have broken it.
This is quite nice, actually. It's like quite nice to be like, I'm not even worried about any of this other crap. I'm only worried about my toe. So if I can just, like, what is that term called when you consolidate your debts? If I could just consolidate all my worries into one ailment, and if it's just like, I don't know, maybe I have a headache, or maybe I have, a tooth issue. If I can just worry about one thing, I think that will cause me less stress and maybe help me to sleep better. Is that stupid? That sounds great.
I mean, in a fantasy world, it sounds kind of nice. It's like, I'll trade in my hangnail, the mouth ulcer, that back problem, lower back pains, and I'll just get like one broken toe. Like let's trade it all in. Yeah, I do get what you mean. I don't know what that says psychologically. It's
because, nothing matters. Like, nothing matters. Like, all of the other, apart from your health, nothing matters. Like, all of the other drama in your life, if you're having a fight with, a person in your family or something, for
just hypothetically,
complete argument's sake, or you're worried about, something else that from work, or you're worried about money or anything like that. Like, it doesn't really matter. It will work out in whatever way it works out. So worrying isn't anything good or productive, and you'll only look back on it and think this was a waste of time. And yet it still chips away at you. Like, you can have the detachment. I really try hard to, when in doubt, zoom out and have a detached kind of perspective on my life. But it's very difficult. I can do that for like 3 seconds.
I mean, a little bit of worry can be helpful, right? Like, in moderation. It is a useful thought process, right? If it leads to constructive problem solving, right? Where it's like, oh, okay, and now I know that I need to do this, or that I'm feeling bad about this, so here's the steps forward. When it becomes obsessive or like problematic is when you can't stop thinking about a problem or whatever.
Yeah, it's the OCD kind of cyclical thinking that I think is my issue.
Right. So
like getting stuck on a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I always think about cavemen and like, what were they worried about? Did they have these kind of, cyclical thoughts? You know, probably not. They're probably, just thinking about killing a saber-toothed tiger.
I mean, there had to be a
Or,
transitionary period between pure animal brain and human consciousness, right? So at some level of caveman, there had to be some persistent self-awareness, right? Like where you leave, animal that doesn't recognize itself in the mirror into like human that, or, Homo erectus or some other version of pre-human that then starts to think about itself in a self-aware fashion, right? And at a certain point, once you start to have that higher cognitive capacity, I guess persistent thoughts and persistent worries hang around, right? It's no longer just fight or flight animal reaction. It's developed brain strategy, early problem solving kind of stuff. You know?
I guess it is like a luxury problem that we've developed. Like we're not thinking about survival, so our brain needs something to do. So it's just like, well, I'll just create problems and try and solve them,
or fixate on them. Yeah.
Like if you told a caveman, oh, I'm kind of having a bit of a weird thing with my granddad, that he'd be like, what? I can't understand.
What's a granddad? No human has ever lived long enough to be 2 generations removed.
I bet they would have, because they had kids early.
True, but then they're also like going to be eaten by saber-toothed tigers and things. Saber-toothed tiger.
Oh yes,
Throwbacks.
Dan's little song.
Yes.
Saber-toothed tiger. One other thing, just while we're on this, just because animals, right? Animals
I've
have
heard of them.
to. I don't know them personally. Animals have to get ready for life so quickly. Like elephants, they'll have a baby, and have you seen the footage of like an elephant giving birth, and the baby just goes straight on the ground, like plops from a height.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, get up. And then all the other elephants might like try and get around it and just be like, get up, start walking. And then it's just like, all right. And then like some animals are just like you see a tiger and it's like trying to mate with another tiger. And it's like, you're 3 years old.
Yeah.
Like you have no life experience and yet you're fucking.
Yeah.
Like it is crazy. Like life is tough. Like for animals, life is so tough, but humans are just like, babies cannot do anything. It's a marvel to me that humans have evolved and have procreated for as long as they have, because babies can't do anything. They have no self-defense mechanism.
Yeah. They I guess when the brain is so much more capable, it takes like longer to fill it with all this information, right?
I guess so. Didn't take me that long. I was walking by 2 months.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Geez, that's very advanced.
Physically I was advanced, but mentally I'm still developing.
Yeah. You just set me up perfectly for something random that was just a minor controversy in New Zealand just yesterday or the other day. So probably the highest watched TV show here in New Zealand, definitely one of, and definitely the most watched of the New Zealand made productions, is a show called Country Calendar, which I'd sort of classify in the realms of like a postcards kind of vibe, but it's like low budget, rural focused, kind of like this farmer loves his sheep, and these kids are planting olives and this kind of thing, right? So
I
that
bet
kind
the
of show.
farmer loves his sheep in New Zealand.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of them. That's why this show's so popular. But this thing has been on the air for years and genuinely outranks just about every other TV show. Like, it's huge.
Sounds great.
And there was a minor stir the other day because they did a story on a farmer who was a woke liberal and who laid out mattresses for their cows to give birth on, so that the calf, when it fell out, had like a soft landing rather than just being like in the dirt. And genuinely got all of this heat from a whole bunch of rural, I guess, old-timey farmer types being like, what are you bloody doing this for? You know, cows have given birth on the earth for millions of years, and you're out here with your woke nonsense putting out a mattress and all this kind of thing. And it became this whole little scandal where they're like, why are you showcasing this kind of nonsense? But yeah, someone decided, well, maybe animals don't need to hit the ground just head first onto the dirt. We could put out a mat.
But how did he get the cows to stand over the mattress?
Well, I guess when they're giving birth, they're in some kind of pen area, or, you know, like if a horse was giving birth, they'd be in the stables, right, on a whole bunch of hay or something. So I guess that with cows, they have a similar setup.
Be fun to do it on like one of those jumping trampolines.
Yeah,
and just watch it just go straight back into the mother.
Straight up. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to hear from the mattress on this, because I think that's an interesting perspective, just being like, well, you know, I was designed for people to lie on me and, you know, maybe have a bit of sex.
Yeah.
But like having a newborn cow spill on me with everything that's involved with that it's not what I signed up for.
You know, if you're doing sex, you can have a baby on it. Like, it's the same process. Just
it's
one end of the spectrum. To know
how you're having sex, Nick. Yeah. Well, okay. Just got a real insight into your sex life there. It's the same thing.
You know, I mean, it's fluids from the same holes, isn't it?
Sure. Yeah. It's fluids from the same holes. Do cows give birth out of vaginas? And do they have vaginas? Or do they give birth out of the arse? Because I thought I heard some animals give birth out the arse. Oh, ducks.
Why don't you Google this right now for us?
Let's just not know, and let's just pontificate on it.
Well, ducks lay eggs.
So ducks shit, piss, and give birth out of the same hole.
You're telling me this as a fact, as a former zookeeper.
This is a fact. Right. You know where I got this fact from? A Louis C.K. special.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, that I would say that's true. I wouldn't expect him to make that up.
Well, in Anchorman, Ron Burgundy talks about a whale's vagina. So I'm guessing that most mammals have vaginas.
All mammals have vaginas.
Is that true?
Are birds mammals?
No, birds are
they birds?
Yeah.
Birds are birds.
Yeah, birds are birds.
Then what are mammals then?
Mammals are mammals.
Not birds.
Oh, yeah, I've looked this up. Yeah. Let me just look.
Right.
Yeah, I'll just double check. Oh, yes, birds are birds. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Nice little drum roll as well as a typing sound there.
Yeah, thank you. That was my my fingers.
Never say that to me again. How are you going? Hey, what are we talking about?
Well,
is this the wrap-up thing? Is this the wrap-up episode? Yearly wrap-up?
It could be. I don't know what our chances are of recording something pre-January. So
well, maybe. I mean, it's feasible.
Yeah, it would mean I'd have to take a mic and laptop and everything to Australia, which is not impossible.
Don't do that.
Maybe let's treat it like a yearly wrap-up.
How about we do this? So what number is this? Is this 198?
195.
Is it? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Skipped ahead.
Yeah, you got excited.
Well, why don't we could do the wrap up one in the new year maybe, or just the next episode.
Yeah. I mean,
I'll have some stories.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I'm going to do a lot of things.
Well, wrap up I don't feel like always is very interesting to other people, but maybe a New Year's one where it's like forward looking, maybe that's a little bit more universal. All
right, let's do that because I've got things to say about that.
Okay. So the first thing I thought I'd bring up here, because it has been a topic of subject. Oh my God, my mouth didn't words then. It has been a topic of discussion for us previously, was the whole bias against the right wing versus the left wing on social media, right? It's been a thing you've said previously where you've argued that social media has typically been biased against conservative views or, that kind of thing. And I just saw this the other day, talked about on The Verge as a result of the Twitter takeover of Elon Musk. And I just thought it would be worth reading through. This was
Are you about to prove me wrong on something, Nick?
It is something that I
don't
often
really
do.
like where this is going.
So get ready to take that top off. Twitter's research, this is internal Twitter research, shows that its algorithm favors conservative views. Twitter says that right-leaning content receives more algorithmic amplification. So a post on Twitter's blog reveals that Twitter's algorithm promotes right-leaning content more often than left, but the reasons for it remain unclear. The findings drew from an internal study on Twitter's algorithmic amplification of political content. During the study, Twitter looks at millions of tweets posted between April 1st and August 15th, 2020. These tweets were from news outlets and elected officials in Canada, France, Germany, Spain, Japan, the UK, and the US. In all countries studied except for Germany, Twitter found that right-leaning accounts received more algorithmic amplification than the political left. It also discovered that right-leaning content from news outlets benefit from the same bias. Twitter says it doesn't know why this is favoring right-leaning content, noting it's a significantly more difficult question to answer, as it's a product of the interactions between people on the platform. But it may not be a problem with the algorithm specifically. A PhD candidate who studies social media has published the results of research which explains that divisive content about political outgroups is more likely to go viral. In our study, says this researcher, we were also interested in what kind of content is amplified on social media and found a consistent trend. Negative posts about political outgroups tend to receive much more engagement on Facebook and Twitter. In other words, if a Democrat is negative about a Republican or vice versa, this kind of content will usually receive more engagement. If you take that research into account, this could mean that right-leaning posts on Twitter successfully spark more outrage, resulting in amplification. Perhaps the algorithm issue is tied to promoting toxic tweeting more than a specific political bias. And as they said earlier, the only place where this wasn't true was Germany, which didn't experience a right-leaning bias, which could be related to Germany's laws, which require removal of hate speech within 24 hours. So, yes, according to the data, it is promoting right-leaning content more than left, and a perception otherwise is part of the political narrative about being silenced and that sort of thing.
But it doesn't feel true. Okay, so that's what I would say to that. I think, isn't that just saying that, like, it's amplifying outrage and negativity, which we all knew, and amplifying divisive content. But what I'm talking about, I guess, is like the kind of extreme ends of things where people are getting banned on Twitter for having a divisive opinion.
Yeah, but you'd have to say that in the context of that discussion, anything that's being banned is on a further level of outrageous beyond the level which is just being normally amplified, right? Like, it has to be a certain degree. Well, I mean, this is historically rather than in the present day, because Elon Musk seems to be actively returning a lot of those banned people. But those original instances had to have been fairly egregious cases, right? If typical right-leaning content is just being promoted. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have the example folder in my brain open at the moment.
Sure.
So I can't really argue this. But it was interesting that Kanye got banned.
yeah.
See that?
Oh, Kanye.
How about Kanye? I mean, what is he? Do you have a take on this? Because, like, what is he doing? Like, is he trolling? Is this performance art? This is like a most spectacular fall from grace I've ever seen in my life.
Well, he's just like, he has previously talked about the fact that he's bipolar, right? And he's off his meds, and proudly so. And he's just like spiraling into these kind of, I think he, as a performer, he comes across as someone who's quite needy, right? Like looking for affection or validation. Yep. He's giving off definite divorce vibes as well, like like going through that shit. But then I feel like, so he's alone. He I believe doesn't have any real long-term friends left, because he just like shits them off, and they've stepped away from hanging out, as I get. And so I think that he's now in this place where there's no one around him who can really rein him in, and he's unmedicated. He's dealing with a psychiatric issue, and now he has a platform, and the only people who are giving him attention or validation are people in a certain subculture. And I guess it's just like a spiral, right? Where you just keep going down this rabbit hole, and now you're on fucking Alex Jones or whatever.
Yeah. In a mask.
Yeah,
I guess.
And even Alex Jones is being like, well, we don't love Hitler. Yeah. He's like, I love Hitler.
You love Hitler, right? He's like, Hitler's doing some good things.
When Alex Jones is like, ooh, cool off, man.
That is probably too far. But like, as Sam Harris said, bipolar, that might explain the, kind of the spiraling, but being bipolar doesn't make you a neo-Nazi.
Oh, of course not.
And it doesn't make you black people. It doesn't make you racist.
No.
So, and I mean, the other weird thing is that he's got a song from a few years ago called Black Skinhead, which was a big song. So I wonder if, it was kind of just under the surface the whole time, or maybe it's just kind of you're kind of looking for things, after the fact.
I mean, he started to really go properly off the rails a bit in like 2018. Like, it has been a few years, but this has been like the sliding slope, right? But there was this is coincidental, and I don't think that when the joke was done 13 years ago, it was truly anything other than a joke. But there was a clip that did the rounds the other day. I don't know if you saw it, from Garfunkel and Oates, where they did a stand-up gig. And they just had a list of things, and they said, I just want to play a game with the audience now. It's called Who Said It, Kanye West or Hitler? And this was 2009, just reading through quotes of things. And I think, at the time it was a gag, but now it's like, it's just this strange, echo of reality these days.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like the Trump thing. Like when you're being told that you're a genius, not that Trump is necessarily being told he's a genius, but he's in a bubble. When you're told you're a genius, like for the majority of your life, you'll start to believe it. And Kanye clearly believes he's the second coming of Christ.
Yeah.
And he's got a messiah complex, which is, another word for narcissism, I guess.
Yeah.
Thinks he's a genius, thinks he's the shit, thinks that every thought that he has is like from the word of
Profound.
God.
Yeah.
And so he starts to believe his own bullshit, and then that mixed in with the bipolar, when you're having like kind of spiraling thought patterns, and
going but I mean, it's also sorry. It's the flip side of that, as well as the mania, right? Like it's not just the spiraling down, but it's also like the crazed highs, right? And I feel like that's just as responsible for some of this direction, right? Like when you get onto this hypermanic kind of, I'm researching, I'm finding people, I'm doing things, I'm saying things, I don't care, like this is exciting, this is, stimulating, the highs are just as responsible as whatever else happens.
Yeah. But I mean, the other thing is, like, if we just took away the oxygen, which is, if people just stopped covering this as a story, or stopped being offended, stop writing articles on it, then it goes away. Like the neo-Nazi stuff is like spread. I know Kanye is saying it, and it's obviously wrong, but it is also spread by the media. Like the media is writing stories on Kanye saying these things, which is then getting into the zeitgeist and kind of picking up steam. So I think the media has some part to play in this.
Yes, but I think these days you have to factor in the social media platform here, where he has millions of followers, and even if the news don't cover what he says, he can put shit up on these platforms and it'll hit 30 million people anyway. So I feel like the amplification is a thing, of course, because then you're talking about it. But the risk of not talking about it is that then, 30 million people are listening to this shit, but there's no counter story.
Pushback. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's a good point.
But it is a trap, right? But as you say, it's self-perpetuating now. If everyone's like on edge about what's he going to say next, where's he going to go? And then all it takes is one publication to give him another platform, and then he comes and, wears a face mask on Alex Jones, and the story continues. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Are you aware of the that this hatred towards the Jews? I mean, it's the oldest living conspiracy as far as I can tell. Like, it's like it comes back from Jesus times. Like the Jews killed Jesus.
Yeah.
You know, like it's got this real people. You know, over the years, I'm talking like thousands of years, have had a thing out for the Jews.
Yeah.
And they think like, you know, Kanye even is saying that he, you know, the Jews run Hollywood and the Jews run America, you know.
Yeah.
In
They run the bank.
in the shadows.
You know, all this shit, all this anti-Semitic crap that's been around forever.
It's just so bizarre. It is bizarre.
Are you sort of posing the idea of like, why them? What was it about them as a race and a culture to engender this
it'd be
all the
interesting
years?
It would be interesting to see the origins of it. I suspect that it comes from biblical times.
Yeah.
But it would be interesting to see how it's kind of, you know, evolved and stuck around to even 2022.
Yeah.
Like it's a weird phenomenon that something can stay around for that long.
Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah. I'm trying to think sort of historically. I mean, you have the white skin, dark skin kind of prejudices, which would have been similarly long lasting.
I guess so, but historically, it would only be, you know, pretty recent that, you know, white skin people had interacted with dark skin people. You know,
historically,
2,000 years ago,
sure,
people aren't really.
There's not as
going
much
to
international travel.
Africa
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Fair.
Yeah, and Jews are a weird. No, they're not weird. They're great. I love the Jews, but they're an interesting race of people because it's a religion and you can be, you know, a cultural
Racially,
Jew as
yeah.
well, like John Stewart.
Yeah.
So there's nothing else. There's no other thing like that either.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I guess I'm showing my ignorance here because I do believe there is, I'm not claiming any sort of real percentage here, but I think going back a few generations in my family, maybe 2 or 3 generations back, there's some Jewish blood there. But it really, I mean, obviously there was a fairly large incident which affected some of those bloodlines in the 20th century. But like for me, it was never part of, you know, any of my family story, you know, right? It wasn't ever really mentioned as a part of our history, even though it was there. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I was talking about the Holocaust at my Christmas party yesterday, and we were going over like 6 million Jews died in the Holocaust.
Yeah.
And then trying to work that out compared to like the population sizes of other places. I mean, South Australia has 1.7 million people.
Yeah.
That's like killing the entire population of South Australia 3 times, 3.5 times, or whatever.
Someone else can do that maths.
It doesn't matter. It's around that.
Yeah. No, it was. Yeah.
It's a hell of a lot of people, if you ask me. Too many.
Yeah. You're actually on the record saying Holocaust, not a great idea. You weren't for it.
Shouldn't have happened.
Shouldn't have happened.
Shouldn't have happened, in my opinion.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
That was one of the truly great final Norm Macdonald bits. Did you see that one? One of the last things he did, literally like the day before he died or 2 days before he died. Maybe I'll even find the clip and we might let's paste a little bit of a Norm in here anyway.
Oh, that's fun. I'll do that.
Let me find the clip.
420 was the birthday of Austrian-born German politician and the leader of the National Socialist German Workers' Party, a fella went by the name of Adolf Hitler. But this guy, there's a picture of him.
The look is
Adolf Hitler, very compelling kind of a figure. Odd-looking duck, but there's something about his eyes. Hypnotic. His eyes are almost entirely black. He was a decorated veteran of World War I. And he joined the war. Hold the fort. He hated Jews.
That is great.
Hold the fort.
Hold the fort.
What
Good
a
bit.
shame. Good dude.
What else you got on that list?
I had one other thing that we talked about. I thought it might be slightly fun, but if it's boring, I'll just cut it out. You may remember like a month ago when we last recorded that we were talking about the fact that you were getting lots of strange Instagram and Facebook suggested content, right? Like you were getting lots of Harry Styles, is that right?
Correct.
Yeah, well, I just thought it might be interesting for you to jump into this Facebook settings page and just run through the ad topics that it thinks is custom for your posts and interests.
Okay. How do I do it?
Okay, so in Insta, you go to your profile button on the bottom, then you hit settings, then you go to ads, and then you got a few options here. So you can either go to add interests, you can go to add topics. Let's just have a read and see what it thinks you're into.
Okay, there's plenty.
Okay.
Tate Modern.
Okay.
Who's that?
Tate Modern is a great art gallery. That's actually pretty cool that you're getting things. That's in London.
Okay.
Have you been? It's awesome.
No? Interesting. Horse. It just says horse.
Okay. So you're getting both ends of the spectrum. You're getting
There's
Tate
also
Modern.
horses. There's also horses further down the list. Beverages.
Okay.
Who doesn't love a beverage?
General, yeah.
Rugby. We said rugby.
We said rugby, yeah.
Yeah. Cricket. That's not true. Landscape photography.
Okay.
A bathing ape.
A bathing ape.
That's very specific, isn't it? As a
That's
topic.
very-
That's not a topic. That's
How
one
many-
thing.
How many videos of bathing apes have you watched where it's got to the point that the advertisers are like, okay, I've got this content and this is who needs to see it?
Now that I think about it, I can think of at least 2 separate bathing ape videos that I watched the whole thing.
Okay.
They're so fucking cute. Have you seen it?
I mean, everyone
It's
loves an ape in
adorable.
water. Yeah.
Oh, they love it. They love it when they trust their,
Yeah.
the human, and they're like, I'll just,
Yeah.
melts
It's
my-
magic.
melts my heart.
Yeah.
tattoos and tattoo art.
Okay.
I just got a new tattoo, by the way.
Oh, really?
Like probably, yeah.
It's a pear in a container.
Correct. Pair in a container. Golf Digest, seafood, travel photography. Not as embarrassing as I thought.
Okay.
Cosplay. That's not
Cosplay.
true. Fleet Fox's Pokemon.
I got Pokemon
NASA.
too.
Ah.
Yeah. I knew we had things in common.
But yeah, it's interesting to see this Harvey Norman. Okay. It's not. I don't. They should order it in order of how much they think I like this stuff. Like there's
Yeah, I
no
think
mention of
it's-
Harry Styles on here.
Is there not?
No.
Well, that
I mean,
how
it's a
does, that doesn't
very-
explain it. Are you in the add interests or the add topics?
Add interest. Maybe I'll go to
Try
topics.
add topics and see if there's anything there that's
Okay. Add topics based on your activity on Meta Technologies. See
Yeah.
all. Kamasi Washington. Yep, just saw him the other day. Anderson Paak. Date night. Huh. Dehumidifiers. Muscle. Ooh.
muscle.
It's not. Muscle baby. You know me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not like very enlightening either.
Okay.
Okay, well, I don't feel so bad about myself now.
Okay. I'll rattle through a few things that I have on my ad interests. Independent film. It's quite good. Pokemon's there.
Very cool. Very cool.
Lululemon Athletica. Just a little bit of
Okay.
athletic wear.
I love lemons.
Princess Polly. I don't know what that means.
I had Princess Polly too on mine.
Oh, wow. What is Princess Polly? IFC Films. Kitten.
Yep.
Realtor.com. Ariana
Yep.
Grande.
Absolutely. I love her.
Show jumping. So we got a bit of horse activity here. Dragon Ball. which is weird. I've never
Z?
watched Dragon Ball Z.
Or otherwise.
I guess all
Okay.
of them. I've got Gay Love in
A to
here,
Z.
which is nice. Yeah.
That's fun.
Sachin Tendulkar, big cricket fan over here, so that's
cricketer.
handy.
Yeah. Sri Lankan.
Yeah.
Indian.
Cricket is not on the list, but I do have Cupcake. So pretty
Okay.
similar. Yeah.
That's great. It seems that Instagram/Meta doesn't really know us at all.
Yeah. Well, it's got Rugby Sevens, so it knows us pretty good.
Yeah, we do love the rugby. Can you? I've never understood rugby at all. Like, I have no idea what they're
As
doing.
in how the rules work, or just like why people are into
How are the
it.
rules? I just don't care. I couldn't care less about the rules. Like, the idea of sitting and learning, someone explaining the rules of rugby to me is a nightmare.
Have I told you about one of the faux pas I did when I first started working over here in New Zealand about rugby?
No.
So
No.
early days, first year of the show I was over here. I was working on like a magazine style show, so there was celebrity interviews, and there was cooking segments, and there was games, and there was interviews, and you know, fashion and music and all these different
Wow.
sort of things. And so we had to do a full breadth of research for whole bunches of different things that we were not particularly knowledgeable about. And so then I was tasked with trying to find a guest every week or every second week. And because New Zealand's fairly small, and because the portion of people who want to come onto a kids' afternoon show is even smaller, you would often reach out to sports places, because, you know, getting one athlete from a team is not too inconvenient, and they're fairly available. And that's when I stumbled into the problem of the difference between rugby league and rugby union. And I was trying to get someone from the All Blacks, very famous rugby team, and I was contacting the head of Rugby New Zealand for the different code, for the opposite code. So I kept saying, oh, we could get the All Blacks, maybe the All Blacks, or, you know, this person. And they're like, we could offer you this person as a different. And it took me asking several times before they said, you're actually speaking to the person from the wrong rugby code. So that's a very quick way to have your non-rugby
Burn your
prowess,
bridges. Yeah.
exposed. Yes.
And you haven't worked in the rugby industry since.
And I haven't worked there since. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Yep.
You could have run into a bit more trouble with the All Blacks. You know, it's a weird name. It's weird. Some sports teams are named such a weird things.
You know,
aren't they?
Funnily enough, that was one of the only content notes that we had from AMC about Good Grief, was we had a reference to the All Blacks, and the phrase that we'd originally used was like, oh, he's an All Black. And they had a note that came back and said, can we change the phrasing of that? Because if you don't know who the All Blacks are, that's going to sound very different to an international audience, which is fair enough. But
In your research slash you know, fucking up in the rugby world, did you ever find out what the origin of All Blacks is? What is All Blacks?
Well, black is just the sort of the national colour here for most of the professional sports teams. So I don't know why it's All Blacks.
I guess you can't just be the Blacks, I guess. So
Yeah,
it's
but I
we
mean,
need one other word.
Can you be the All Blacks either? I mean, neither of them seem... Like, if you're pitching them both at the start...
Yeah, I guess. It's a very strange sports team name.
Yeah.
You know? Like, just be a lion. Just be the Lions.
Well,
or be
interestingly,
the Eagles or something.
The Canterbury rugby team in the National League is the Crusaders, and that is
that's
also
problematic,
like
I guess.
a political kind of name. And there was a lot of discussion about changing it after the mass shooting at the mosque, and there was a whole bunch of pushback, and there was a sort of a comedy show, but doing kind of semi-political comedy called New Zealand Today, and this guy went around asking Cantabrians here in Christchurch whether or not they should change the name of the rugby team, and everyone's like, no, 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 no. And then they just explained the history of the word Crusaders and how it was like a Christian war against Muslims, in which a whole bunch of Muslims were killed. And the moment that people were like informed, they immediately were like, oh yeah, we should change that name. We should change that name then. Because in Christchurch in particular, still having the sport team being named after like anti-Muslim atrocities is probably not the vibe that should be persisting now.
It's like being called the terrorists.
Yeah, it's not. It's not a great one. No.
Yeah. It'd be nice if some sports teams just got like a bit more abstract with their names. Like instead of the Suns, maybe they'd be the Sunsets.
Yeah, or just like a little bit more poetry, like the ennui. You know?
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, the Schadenfreude.
The umamis.
The umamis?
The umamis. That's a great name.
That's great.
That's a great name.
The Canterbury umamis.
What is it? I don't know what it is, but I love it.
Yeah, I need it as part of the dish, but
it's so hard to define.
So hard to put down. Yeah, well, we'll pitch that. Well, I think we shouldn't hold off too much longer. Let's wrap this. Let's get into the outro and then do some fun things. Thank you for listening. This is a podcast, and it's not the only episode we've ever made. So if you've enjoyed this, then I suggest going back and listening to some of the other Christmas episodes because they're just as fun. You can find us on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. You can send us questions and comments to deepforward@gmail.com. You can send us a... Don't know where that sentence was going. But I do, you know, it's that time of year when we like to give a gift to each other. And I'd like to give a gift to you, the listeners at home. I have begrudgingly decided that Deep Fort can now go on Spotify. So if you have been bitching and moaning about how you have to use a different app and it's not on the thing, well, happy Christmas. Happy Christmas, everybody. I will start uploading this podcast to Spotify. So, you know, yes, it might crumble.
I love
society.
that I wasn't a part of this decision making at all. I've never felt less in control of my own
I got you a present. I can't believe... What did you want?
That is a good present.
Okay, sorry.
I didn't
realize I have to run all my presents by you beforehand.
Would have preferred a ball trimmer, but what's the reasoning behind
still in our DMs, so we can chase them up.
You know what's funny? I still get emails from them because of that gift I sent you, and it's addressed to Nicholas, so it says, hey, it's like promo emails. Hey, Nicholas, it's coming up to that time of year again. Oh. Do you need your lawn mowed? You know,
I didn't realize. Okay, well, I don't know how quickly it'll flick over, but look for your Deep Fort on Spotify going forward. That little green app.
What's with the change of heart? What's with the change of heart? Just given up in your old age.
I know several people who've asked about it, and if people want to listen to this show, I figure we might as well make it easy for them. So it's there. You'll be missing out on. What's that?
Nothing.
Okay, I'll isolate that audio separately when I listen back and just hear what you mumbled. You'll miss out on some things in Spotify. You won't get chapters. You won't get the separate images and all that kind of stuff. But if you want it, it is there. So Merry Christmas, everybody. If that's your vibe, we'll be over there now too.
Well, that's good news because I also have many people, and by many I mean 3. Who have asked us to be on Spotify.
Yeah, but 3 is like 75% of our listeners. So, I mean, we should at that point.
In Deep Fort followers, you have to, it's like dog years. You have to multiply it by 7.
Yeah, it's huge. Okay. Well, I'm very excited. It is...
man.
It's quite a regular tradition now. 4th year running. It's come to Christmas. It's our Christmas episode. And what do we do every Christmas? We write an original Christmas song. Michael, can you go first this year?
Sure, I can go first. Now, I'm not going to give too much...
preamble.
backstory to this because I want the, I don't feel like it's mine anymore, Nick. Like I want people to interpret it however they want to interpret it.
Yeah, sure.
Last year I spent so long, I had my track finished by October.
Yeah.
And I was just tinkering since October.
Yeah.
This year I left it so late. I've been busy. It's just not been, as I said earlier, I've not been.
You are sort of
taken
now
by the
speaking
Christmas
for
spirit.
it in a way when you just said you weren't going to speak about it, but okay.
The context is,
okay.
I basically
You
worked
rushed
on
it.
this song when I had COVID.
Okay.
Okay, so this is my 2022 Christmas song. It's called Sleigh Ride, Ego Death. It's not finished.
I can see.
Have you made up your mind?
How's that?
Have you made up your mind?
About what?
About coming in. Your mother just phoned and said you were on your way over to pay me a visit.
My mother just called you? Well, how'd she know?
Didn't you tell her?
I didn't tell anybody. I just went for a walk. It passed by. You know, I didn't come here to...
What did you come here for then?
I don't know. You tell me. You're supposed to be the one that has all the answers. You tell me.
Why don't you go home?
That's where I'm going. I don't know why I came here.
So, no jokes in that one.
Dude.
So yeah,
Dude, it's such
I've
a vibe.
Gone for a bit of an '80s dark disco thing, I guess you could call it.
It was definitely felt like a
this-
Brokers, but it also I was getting almost like a sort of a dark Gorillas vibe, a little bit of like an Air almost. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, there's I've gone for like first song that I've not included. There's not a single sleigh bell in there. I think you probably noticed.
I did actually think that because every track you've done so far has had a sleigh bell in it.
So I tried to take a little bit of a leaf out of your book,
Yeah.
and you don't really lean into the. Every year I've tried to written a song that sounds Christmassy, and this year I'm so fuck that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
I've gone with a theme, which is not necessarily related to Christmas, but I've tied in some Christmas
lot of
lyrics in
imagery.
there. I'm not. There's a lot that I don't like about that song. I'm going to be honest, but I like the lyrics. But yeah.
Oh, I think
There you go.
No, I don't think you should discard it so quickly. I think that was really nice to hear a different vibe from you. This Christmas theme, I think, comes through, even if the music, as you said, doesn't have sleigh bells. No, I enjoyed that all the way through. I immediately I was just like. Sometimes with our songs, I feel like you want to like comment all the way through, and very quickly I was like, no, I'm just blissing out. I'm just
That was the intention. I wanted you to shut up the whole time, so that's why
yeah.
I had that one little 5-second gap there where I'm like, I'll leave room for Nick to comment here, but that's apart from that, it's quiet time.
Yeah, so we just all have a break. No,
Sleigh Ride, Ego, Death. Do I know what that means? No, I don't, but it came to me in a vision.
No, don't ruin the magic. Don't ruin the magic.
I'm
You
saying
said
it
you
came
weren't
to me in
going
a
to
vision.
explain it. It's about,
A vision is
you've just
magical.
handed it up to the listener, and now it's up to us to work out what it means.
Did you get the sample there was?
No, what was that? I keep trying to say Nightmare Before Christmas, but that's not what I meant. The Charles Dickens one.
No, close-ish, but it's from probably the best Christmas movie of all time, which it's a Wonderful Life,
Elf.
which I
It's a
watched
Wonderful Life.
recently.
That's what I was thinking of.
Which I felt loosely inspired by.
Okay.
And kind of tied in with some of the themes that I was, singing about in this. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Bah humbug.
Sleigh Ride, Eagle, Death. Get it on Spotify soon.
Soon. Oh.
All right, what do you got for me, big fella?
Yes. Okay. Well, I can't.
There you
I can't really put it off any longer. I guess I do need to apologize. I didn't get a chance to write something this year.
What?
Yeah. So I've spent a lot of time on Twitter, and that was like a whole thing. And then I just sort of looked up, and I was like, "Fuck, it's December." So that's yeah. Obviously, you've really put in the effort there. So I do feel, yeah. I didn't want to let you guys down any sort of more than I already had. And I felt like if I couldn't make something, I should at least bring something, right? So I was
not show and tell.
Yeah, it was the best option I had in the
I
circumstances.
don't like this one bit.
So I walked around to my local Video Easy and just browsed through the holiday sort of section, and I found this VHS. Have you heard of a movie called Santa's Big Day Out?
I haven't.
Yeah,
Must have slipped
I
out.
didn't know sort of much about it. It looks sort of like late 80s, maybe, or sort of early 90s. But someone had just like written the name on the VHS in like marker. Like it looks homemade, like someone's ripped it off.
It's a bootleg.
It was like a bootleg. Anyway, I rented it, and wow, like the end credits.
Do you have it?
Like, yeah. Just check this out.
I don't have a VHS player.
I'll just pop this VHS in, and yeah, here, it's the best I could do. So.
Santa! Would we like ever see you again?
Ho, 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 ho. You couldn't keep me away. Merry Christmas!
And it's like credits.
Oh, no.
Credits are rolling.
Wow. So 80s. You weren't making this up. It's been a good old ride, but Santa's leaving. Gonna grab his second packet in. Time's up, he's gotta fly, but keep believing. Maybe one day he'll be back again. 1,000 years of service, whoa. He's surely made a mark. Don't call him a pervert, whoa. He just comes in the dark. Daddy Christmas like some young, dumb, and full of courage. He's gonna give him his North Pole. He's been boxed up in a loveless marriage, and now he wants to fill that home. Spend a day amongst the mortals, whoa. Learn a thing or two about friends. Realize that he's still normal, whoa. Even though he loves fucking men. Oh my god, that was so fun.
Yeah,
That
it
was
a great
so
movie.
incredibly fun.
Yeah. I
Wow.
looked at the label and I misread it. It says Santa's big gay out. Big gay out.
Big gay.
That makes so much more sense. Because
It was a porno.
There was some other scenes in that film where I was like, this doesn't feel very Christmassy.
Wow, that was probably the most fun song ever. I feel like that's going to be huge in Japan.
Huge.
That's a very Japanese style. You know, it's like I can imagine, you know, grown men in suits
in
staring
like karaoke
at big
clubs. Yeah.
kind of like looking at Christmas kind of toys, you know, in characters. While like little Japanese schoolgirls kind of dance around, you know.
Yeah, that was the arm movements.
Or
that we
maybe
were doing.
Japanese schoolboys.
There you go.
So you've gone with the theme of Santa's gay, which is,
Yeah.
I think we can all agree is obviously true.
Yeah.
There's some fucking great lines in there. I would love to get a copy of those lyrics.
Sure.
I really liked the idea that Santa's in a loveless marriage, because that's obviously
true.
it's just a cover.
You never
like,
see
who
them
would stay
like,
with.
happy together.
Never see them have sex. Never see
Yeah.
them make out. Never
Yeah.
see anything. I also thought that it was like maybe gonna go down like a Santa's a pedophile kind of route.
No. He's you know, he's old, he's experienced, but yeah, he just never really had the chance to, I guess, embrace who he really was. So this is kind of a nice story, I think.
That was so good. That was lovely.
Thank you.
That was like it filled me. I was genuinely bopping up and down and wanted to clap, but I didn't want to,
The audio
it to
reasons.
overdub the audio. But that was. So what can you tell me about the process of that?
Yeah, I honestly, for whatever reason, the moment that a song is off my plate, almost immediately after recording these episodes, my brain starts going, well, what would I do next year now? Because there's like this reciprocal kind of thing, right? Where it's like, okay, I heard what Michael did last time and like his was really good.
Right.
So what's my thing, And I just had like a year ago sort of this strange thought of like, okay, Santa, like I need to go back to a comedy one again. What's my sort of comedy angle? Santa's gay is kind of funny. And then just like early lines started like percolating into my notes like months and months ago. But I didn't really start working on it till like August, I guess, properly, or September.
Right.
Yeah.
And who did the guitar solo? Was that War on Drugs?
That was War on Drugs. Yeah. That
War on
was
Drugs, wow.
sampled from, another.
How'd you
More
get
Drugs.
him?
I just DM'd, yeah. I said I was doing a
DM'd?
gay
And he
Santa
said-
song, and he was just like, yeah, sure.
Is that Say No More?
Yeah, say no more.
Wow. Slay No More.
Oh, we
Hey.
missed it. We missed it.
There we go. Well, that was brilliant. I think this it's it's interesting now that we're going to be on Spotify. Maybe there's a way to tie in our podcast with the music, or maybe it's just separate. But we now have got 8 tracks. We've now got 8 tracks, which is almost an album.
Well, it's already
is
up there as a
almost
6-track
a proper
album,
album.
right?
I know, but that was with the intention of growing into the
For
album.
sure. Yeah, we'll have to
know?
release these ones, yeah. But now we really have, like, we got a lot of music. We would have 40 minutes easy.
Well, we should. We'll next. Well, in the coming years, we'll be releasing a greatest hits, no doubt. We're almost at that stage.
We can leave off the first year. Then once we've had enough to do that, then we can release the album. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that was fantastic.
It's
man.
always
Well done.
fun. Well done to you too. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to everyone listening at home or whatever
Christmas.
holidays you celebrate. I hope you get some downtime.
Happy Hanukkah.
Happy
A very
Hanukkah.
important one.
Yep, all of the above. I hope you get some downtime with your friends and family. I hope you stay healthy. And if we don't see you later this year, have a great one. And we'll be back in 2023 for the 9th year of Deep Thought.
Wow. There
Be
you
well.
go.